Hello everyone. Welcome to Fast Track on Herald Global. I am Saimik Sen. Joining us today, a very renowned painter and installation artist. He's also a founding member of Goa Museum, Dr. Subodh Kerkar.
Entertainment.
Thank you, Dr. Kerkar. Thank you so much for taking out this time for us, and welcome to Herald Global. I would like to begin by asking you, as a founding director of Museum of Goa, what are the challenges you faced?
Yeah, first of all, Museum of Goa is a child of passion. You cannot have a business plan for a museum.
Sure.
Because there are no examples of museums which make money. Oh, well, and then this is completely an artist-driven museum. I mean, I invested everything I had into the museum, and I started it 6 years ago. I was 55 years old, and I had sold a house which I had built earlier, and I had some 4 crores of rupees. And for my kind of a lifestyle, so I gave up my medical profession 30 years ago, and I'm only doing art for last 30 years. And and I thought, one of the problems which I was having working as an artist was, in this country of 1.3 billion people, not more than 1 lakh people connect with contemporary art.
Sure.
Others have no idea. Only just 1 lakh people, the same people in Mumbai, Delhi, they will go to the art fairs. Like Kochi Muziris Biennale has changed that a little because common people started going. So that is the situation. So the idea that what I create will only reach about 1 lakh of people in the country started bothering me. Because, when you are an artist of any kind, you need an audience. So the Museum of Goa is essentially a product of my love for art and my commitment that one must democratize art and art must go to everybody. There is a kind of a cultural barrier in the country because most people feel visual art, contemporary visual art is only for the rich. And also the galleries are situated in sort of very expensive premises and common people are scared even to go and press the bell there. And so, first of all, Museum of Goa is a product of this mission, this passion that art must go everywhere. And when I started the museum, I decided to start the museum. All my friends told me that I was a total fool. 5 log nahi aayenge, because this is in an industrial estate. And they said, you are putting all your money, all that you have, and you are creating a museum. After 6 months, many people asked me, I was not yet bankrupt. But then nobody knew exactly what I'm going to show in that museum. And the museum, of course, I had to put everything what I earned into the museum to sustain it. But within about 3 years' time, pre-COVID, we had 300 people visiting every day by paying a fee of 200 rupees.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yeah. So we became sustainable. And this is perhaps the first museum of this kind, of contemporary art, which becomes sustainable. And 90% of the people who come to the museum has never been to any contemporary art space in their life. This is their first encounter with contemporary art, and yet they enjoyed it. And if you see our Google the page, there has some 5,000 wonderful comments.
Sure.
So from common people. And so that is what even the farmers and the laborers, and all kind of people came. And I know it is very important for me that contemporary art goes to everybody. I think I am speaking a monologue, so you can ask some more questions and then I'll.
Sure. That exactly brings to my next question. From where do you get so much of inspiration?
Yeah, for me, I live art. I breathe art. I sleep art. I dream art. And for me, the creation, there is nothing called a holiday, because I don't think I have taken a single day off for the last 20 years. Because for me, the idea of a holiday and idea of a work are not different. Like this morning, I went for a walk on the beach, looking at textures on the sand, on which I'm going to make some drawings. So this is my work. So my day is sort of, I think I'm in perpetual, bliss, in enjoying what I love to do. And I think that's wonderful. So the inspiration basically comes because of my commitment to art and my love for art.
So, how has the journey been from a doctor to an artist?
Yeah, I came from a rather poor family. My father was a school teacher and his retirement salary was some 1,000 rupees.
Okay.
And but I was a very good student. And I was 7th in the Goa board in SSC and in 12th standard. And so getting admission to any college was not a problem for me. It was my choice. And my problem at the age of 18 was I wanted to become everybody. So I wanted to become a doctor. I wanted to become an engineer. I wanted to become a writer, a scientist, the prime minister. There were only a few things I didn't want to become. I didn't want to become a priest, and I didn't want to become a soldier. I didn't want to become a shopkeeper, and I couldn't become a musician because I was bad in music. I mean, I couldn't sing. So, and then I didn't want to become a mafia don. But apart from these 5 things, there was hardly anything I didn't want to become. And so becoming an artist, actually, it was a hobby, but I never thought I will become an artist because my father tried to be an artist and couldn't make a living out of it. So, and nobody forced me to become a doctor. So I became a doctor by my own choice. And I must say, I did enjoy being a doctor because it was a lot of people are so grateful to you. And you are almost next to God to many people. And but at the same time, for me, I started getting a little suffocated because it was, first of all, 90% of the patients who come to any doctor don't need to go to the doctor. They just want to go and basically talk to the doctor. And they will talk about सब इधर से कुछ ऊपर जाता है, इधर से कुछ नीचे आ रहा है. So basically, it's more of a psychotherapy. And they want to see a doctor. And then you land up treating cough, cold, typhoid, malaria. And then suddenly there was a big tourism boom in Goa. And almost 60-70% of my patients were British tourists suffering from loose motions. And the idea of devoting my life to British loose motions was not very palatable. I thought India as a country has taken enough shit from the British and I didn't want to take any more. So I gave up my medicine. But at that time, I was very good. I was very skilled as a watercolor landscape artist because my father had taught me. And then I thought I was an artist because people started buying. I was a doctor for the Taj Hotel and they would allow me to have an exhibition in the Taj Hotel and people started buying my work. So I thought I was an artist and I gave up my medicine because I already knew that, okay, people are buying my work. But after 2 years of doing this, I realized again, the same feeling came back to me. I said, this is a routine. This is some skill. And then I had opportunities to go to Europe for an exhibition showing the same thing what I was exhibiting here. But then I got opportunities to go to many contemporary art spaces in Europe. And those became my teachers. And the whole new world was open to me. And I realized that what I was doing was just a simple skill. Because skill does not make you an artist. The same way like knowledge of grammar does not make you a writer.
Sure.
You have to have something to say. So to be able to draw Amitabh Bachchan exactly like Amitabh Bachchan, or to be able to draw a landscape exactly like one sees it, is a skill. That's not art. And it took me some time. And now it's 30 years that I'm experimenting. And I would say that the journey has been fantastic because I'm learning every day. And it's bliss.
Tell us something about your lectures in Vishwa Bharati University and Banpose Museum.
Yeah, I'm very committed to art education. See, I will just pose a question to the audience through this interview. I will tell you 10 names. Subodh Gupta, Sudarshan Shetty, Riyas Komu, Krishnamachari Bose, Vivan Sundaram, Vasudev Gaitonde, Francis Newton Souza, Raza, Hussain, and Vishwanathan. Now, out of these 10 names, I do not know how many names you have heard of, but I can tell you that most people, and I'm not talking about laborers and farmers, I'm talking about most educated people, corporate heads, all kind of people, have heard very few names. And let me tell you, these names which I just told you are names of some of the topmost artists of India. And they are like Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan's of visual arts. And to add a little economic information to this, painting by Gaitonde got sold for 35 crores in a recent auction, and it's just about 4 feet by 3 feet or something like that. So now this is a world completely alien to most people. And this is scary. This is scary because I feel that appreciation of arts, all arts, gives a special kind of a quality to human life. We are human beings essentially because we appreciate and create art. Animals don't create art. And so the whole human civilization, the cornerstone of human civilization, all arts. So I realized that it is very important to educate everybody in arts. And I would like to do a series of lectures on different aspects of art in English and in all the languages of India. They can be dubbed or they can be delivered by people who know those languages.
Sure.
I will develop the content, but lecture which can speak to common people. It's not a lecture in a classroom. Sometimes very academic lectures can become a little boring for the general crowd. So I'm sort of, I was a student activist and I have a lot of experience in public speaking. And that experience sort of helped me connect with people through on visual arts. So I did some lectures in Vishwa Bharati. They invited me to deliver some lectures. I have done lectures in London School of Economics. I have done lectures in Van Gogh Museum. And more than all this, I would like to sort of, I have a YouTube channel, which is Subodh Kerkar, and I have an Instagram, Subodh Kerkar, on which I basically talk about art. Right now, only in English, but soon we will find some kind of a corporate CSR funding to create these lectures, short ones, 10, 15 minutes in all languages of India, regional languages, because only 5% of India speaks English. And so when you converse in English, 95% are out of the conversation.
Yes.
And so it is very important that it is done in regional languages.
During lockdown, when most of the people were not doing anything, you have started illustrating children's books. How was the experience?
Yeah, so essentially, you know, for the last almost 25 years, I have been essentially doing installations and conceptual works. I had not done much of painting and drawing. And the lockdown was actually bliss for me because I had all the time, no disturbance, and I started drawing. I must have made thousands of drawings, and I'm 62 years old. And it is very rare that at the age of 62, you find something new. So usually finding new is at the age of 30, 40, and then you do the same thing all your life. But for me, every day is a new day, and especially because of COVID, I had an uninterrupted creative time, and I did a lot of drawings, and actually a new style developed. So I'm quite, I mean, of course, financial suffering, everybody suffered, and I also suffered.
Yeah,
but apart from that, all this happened. So I'm I must be grateful to Miss COVID.
That's true. So do you think the government is doing enough for art in India?
Yeah, to answer that question, I would say they are not doing enough. Actually, they are doing nothing. Let me tell you, and especially the present government. I feel that any right-wing government, any government which believes in any fanatic ideas, cannot do art. That is because art is a function of freedom. Art is a function of liberal thought. The moment you are a member of any fanatic organization, a Muslim organization, a Christian organization, or an organization like RSS, what happens is they tell you this is right and this is wrong. No, but art has nothing to do with right and wrong. There's a very beautiful poem by Rumi. It says there is a field of right and there is a field of wrong. And beyond that field, there is another field. Let us meet there. So function of art is to hold your finger and take you to that field. So if government has to, first of all, develop art, they have to wash their brains clear of fanaticism. Only then, otherwise they will tell you, okay, do something on Hanuman Chalisia or something like this. And so the present day, I mean, like if you go to National Gallery of Modern Art, it is in very bad shape today. I feel sad about it. So it's a completely private organization. And I'm very glad that in Goa, at least they're not troubling me. Forget about supporting me. At least they're not troubling me. And for that, I'm grateful. So I think any art process cannot happen with tenders. Imagine somebody asking you, Taj Mahal ka tender kitne mein nikala tha? So basically, activities of art, you cannot say there is a tender for a painting. And usually anything to do with all this, I mean, art suffers badly. So art is like a free river. the government cannot build rivers. Governments can build canals. So canal में से art नहीं निकलता है. उसके लिए river चाहिए.
Okay, my last question to you. What is your idea of plural multicultural India?
Yeah, India is plural. India is multicultural. And unfortunately, the present government at the center is sort of completely anti this idea of India. I'm a great devotee. I wouldn't say devotee, but a great admirer and follower of Mahatma Gandhi. And I would say that the idea of the freedom struggle, the history of Indian freedom struggle is not just the history of driving the British away. It is a struggle to decide what we are going to be.
True.
The idea of India took shape in this freedom struggle, that this land shall belong to everybody, irrespective of caste, creed, religion. And that was the idea of India, Plural India. I mean, Nehru's book, Discovery of India, is a very wonderful book. It talks about this. Mahatma Gandhi basically speaks about this, and lots of other leaders of Indian. We were so lucky to have such illustrious leaders who conceptualize India. Even in America, the voting right for women came much later. In England, they had to struggle, but here was our country because of these great stalwarts. We had our constitution, which was sort of one of the most advanced constitutions of this time, with everybody with equal rights, irrespective of religion. And so this idea of India, it is like this, people are talking about pure culture, pure Indian culture, Sanatan Dharma and all this. I think it is all bullshit. That's because cultures can never be pure. Thinking about pure culture is like thinking about a non-peeing area in a swimming pool. It doesn't exist. So India is plural and has to remain plural. And I think we must all try to keep it plural.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Kerkar. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sen.